Today I'm going to share with you 10 tips I follow when I go wild camping in the UK. So the first thing I'm going to point out is the common misconception between survival trips and camping trips. And the fact is, in the UK, you're not allowed to carry a blade over 3.5 inches, so that instantly rules out all these fantastic items like this. It's just not practical to take with you. And as for fishing, dynamite fishing is kind of out of the question, and there are much better ways to keep away mosquitoes than a smoke grenade. So it's really going to limit what we take. So let's begin by removing offensive objects. Tip 1. So, now we've eliminated all potential weapons, we're not going to get in trouble with the law. But then we have the issue of fire. You can't light a fire in a public place unless it has a designated area. So I'm instantly going to remove the fire still, because it's just generally awkward. If you want to get a fire going, I definitely prefer a lighter, and these Zippos are pretty good. If they fall in the water, they still work afterwards, so that's that. I'll also be taking this little compact stove with some fuel tablets. And if I find a good area or a level bedding which is safe, I will proceed to light a fire to cook something to eat. Now, as you can see, my setup for wild camping is obviously a lot more compact than my general camping setup. And everything fits perfectly in here, so I can cook, I can produce fresh water, I have a nice bed to sleep on, and I have lighting, fire. So it's kind of perfect. But my next tip is to take a trowel. Now, the trowel is obviously to bury human waste, so I'd just like to quickly clarify on something I said at the start, and that was the difference between survival trips and camping trips. And the difference for me is that if you're surviving, you're going to be hunting, you're going to be lighting fires, you're going to be collecting wood, and of course those three things are pretty much illegal to do in a public place. So I solely like to limit it to foraging food and finding a few sticks on the ground, so that's it. So, now we've established my wild camping setup, all that's left to do now is enjoy a nice day of riding, so let's go. So, I've just come across this absolute gem of a place. It's really quiet, the ground's flat, it's absolutely beautiful surroundings, so yeah, just look at that. Now, that brings us to tip 3. And tip 3 is to park your bike as close as possible to your camping ground. That way you can keep an eye on it. But failing that, you can get a little GPS tracker, which I've got in my bike. I'm not going to show you where it is, because obviously if anyone was going to steal it, they'd know where to remove it. So yeah, it's got a little GPS tracker, and then I like to park it by some houses, a little built-up area, because a bike next to your tent can also draw attention in, especially from authorities. And if you're going off-road a little bit, you could get yourself in a little bit of trouble. So yeah. So, even though this is the perfect camping ground, I'm not going to be staying here tonight. I've actually pre-arranged a little spot. It's got some water near it, so I've got a water supply. And yeah, we're going to head there later tonight. So now I'm just going to spend the day riding around until it's time to camp. I'll see you later. So my bike's safely parked by some houses, and I've just noticed there's apple tree here, and there's a couple on the ground. I think that one's seen better days, but these two look alright. A little bit juicy in the other one. Oh my god, that's a cooking apple. Oh. I'm going to be honest, it's a bit too sour for me. So the next tip is cooking away from the camp, because the smell of cooking food obviously attracts animals, insects, flies, it's just sometimes humans. So we're going to try and avoid that by cooking somewhere else, and then we'll move on to our camping spot. But ooh, that's nice. There's a substantial amount of blackberries here, so I don't think we're going to go hungry tonight. We certainly won't run out of sugar. So there's a couple of big juicy ones on there, if you can see that, and I think they're perfect for eating. They're well off the ground, so maybe a couple of maggots and some fly larvae, but nothing to worry about. Well, this is definitely one of the most lucky places to find food. I mean, now we've got more miniature apples, so we'll take one of them off, or two, give it a little polish. Much better. Oh, it's a bit dry. It's like when you drink a bit of wine, it leaves that dry texture. Edible though. So there's yet again another food source, and this time we're surrounded by stinging nettles. And of course they're a good nutritional source, but you have to fry them to take the sting out, or there's other methods, but I prefer frying. And I'm not going to be doing that tonight because I've got an ample supply of cod roe. I'm hoping to cook that very soon, so let's get moving. Okay, I think this is the point where I change my route. There's cows or bulls over there, they have horns. They're fairly large, and really not keen on passing that. Well, we'll give it a go. Oh god, now I'm surrounded. Let's get out of here. I've left the cows and the bulls to it. I've just come across some more edible plantation. And this time we got chives. And that's edible as well. Actually, I should probably wipe that before I do anything with it. That's at dog level range. Not bad. Yeah, you're fucked. It's a fucking stinging nettle. Oh, bit of luck.
So tip 4 is to set up your camp as late as possible so that nobody sees you or disturbs you. And obviously that's followed by tip 5, which is leave as early as possible. Not really a problem if you're in Scotland because it's completely legal to wild camp, but down here in the south you definitely want to make a ghostly exit. Nobody see you come in, nobody see you leave, and leave no trace behind, so pick up all your rubbish. So now I'm just going to look for a nice little spot, preferably with level ground, as seems to be few and far between around here, and with the cover of some trees would be nice as well, just to camouflage my little tent. So let's have a look. So I found this nice little spot. It's got a big overhanging tree surrounded by this bush and a bit of a tree that's already fallen over, so I'd say this is a pretty good area. So I'm going to set the tent just here and hopefully not get disturbed. So that brings us to tip 6. Tip 6 is basically to make sure that you're completely camouflaged and that all the equipment you take with you can be set down really quickly so that if anyone asks you to leave, you can oblige quickly and easily. So what we're going to do is set up the tent, which just so happens to be the quick pop-up one, and yeah, settle down for the night. Now that's where this tent really wins, because it's so quick and easy to set up, so let's get ready for bed. Can't see bugger all. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I can hear some people prowling around somewhere. Oh, never mind. Now, I can imagine at least one person noticed this, and that was that my stove was upside down when I was cooking. And there's a very good reason for that. If it's upside down like this, you have a much better area for heat to come all around the bottom of the pan. But if you have it the right way up and stick it in the ground, you either put your fuel capsule on here or underneath. And these sidebars block heat, so you get no heat past that point. And the rest of the heat, the flame just tries to escape, so it goes up and round the pan. So I personally found that this particular stove works a lot better if it's upside down. So as you can see, I'm just settling down for the night. Got all my bits and pieces here in the side area. I've got my bag and my shoes just out in the porch area, but I'm not opening that door to show you because the amount of flies out there tonight is utterly terrible. So we'll just recap on my top 10 tips, and they are as follows. There's some very strange noises out here tonight. Hello? So I don't really want to hang around to cook anything, so I've just grabbed a handful of berries and nuts. Got some acorns, blackberries and blueberries, and that'll see me through till I can get to a cafe. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.